Hello. Overnight, we got an update, FSD 14.2.2. Doing just the second part of my morning commute to work. Want to actually go up to Mad Max here. I really want to test to see if this hesitation on lane changing is fixed. It is Christmas Eve, so happy holidays to everyone out there. Not a whole lot of traffic this morning, and that's one of the reasons I started here at the halfway point, because the first half is kind of out of town. There was literally just nobody on the road. Now we're getting a little closer into town, and because it's lower traffic, we'll be taking more highway than we normally would in the morning, so at least on the way to work. So all right, I did have one lane change. It was on a service road that was close to a car that normally I feel like it would have hesitated on. So I think that we have improved. It is very interesting to me that Mad Max still doesn't go as fast as other drivers. You can see we're just getting passed up like crazy here. Look at that on the left. That Camaro is just flying. People are just flying by me on the left. We're going, but Mad Max has been going 77 to 79 in a 70, which is I'd say the average is going about average speed compared to everybody else on the road. There's about an equal amount of people passing me as I'm passing. And it's kind of causing it to not really have any interactions with people because everyone's going faster than me. Or most people. All right, so now we're getting a little closer into town. Maybe we'll start seeing some. All it takes is just a little bit of slowdowns, and then we're in business. We'll be changing lanes, but nothing so far. There is a dump truck up here that's driving in the fast lane. There's no way they're going 80, so maybe that'll kind of entice the system to start changing lanes. See, someone's just blowing by me here on the left. This is what I've talked about in past videos, how Mad Max is not fast enough. Even if it was going 85, it still could not drive in the left lane with conditions like this in this area, because people drive 90 to 100. I feel like they need to increase the speed to at least 90, not 95, which sounds crazy. But that's just if it wants to call itself Mad Max. So it's changing some lanes here, but there's no cars behind me. And that's where the weakness is. It sees cars in your it sees cars behind you in the lane that it wants to get in, and it can't judge how far back they are. That's been the issue. We're exiting in 2 miles. So maybe we'll see some of it when it tries to get over into the right lane. now we're starting to see us driving faster than other people, because it's getting a little thicker, and there's just a big interchange coming up here. People slow down for and change lanes. Not to go back to another video, but this thing should already be in the right lane. We're at 1 mile, and we're going left. So we have to get in the far right lane. Far right lane. We're at 0.7 miles, and this thing just got in the left lane. And it has to navigate now all this traffic to get into the right lane. So this is a good stress test, but also back to my pet peeve of this thing's not, it's actually changing lanes really nicely. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's doing a much more natural lane change. So as much as I hate that it doesn't get over enough, that was a great little stress test. And it wasn't too complicated, but before it would have all kinds of room to change lanes, and it just wouldn't do it. It just had way too much fear to change lanes, which is good for safety, but is at some point it wasn't able to execute a cohesive drive, because it would just sit there with it would speed past people, and then it couldn't change lanes, so it would get stuck because it was scared to change lanes. So it was very odd and uncomfortable. Watching videos, it is watching other people's videos, Omar and a lot of the people in California. It is amazing how they say that in California they were not having this issue at all. And here it literally was happening to me multiple times every day. So now we'll be able to stress test this again, because it's going to want to get over. And then it's going to have to get way over to the right again. So we'll see how it does. Because there's no traffic, even if it misses the exit, I got time to deal with that. So I'll just let it work. And these are situations where it commonly would miss the exit in the previous version. One of the reasons I didn't use Mad Max is because, yeah, it would the left lane at the time would be the fastest lane, then it wouldn't try to get over till 0.5 miles, and then it can't get over because it doesn't know how to change lanes quickly enough. But so far so good with this new version. That was really good. That was really good. Okay, let's see if it can squeeze in right here. So I'm going to try to squeeze in. It's bizarre. It's 1.3 miles, and it's actually getting over to the right to exit. That's very early for this build, for 14.2. But I think that's what I talked about on my rant video is that it's inconsistent. Sometimes it does it. Sometimes it does it right. And other times, like earlier, it's going into the left lane at 0.5 miles when it needs to go exit 4 lanes to the right. Yeah, I have no issues with the lane changing. No hesitations. We're back to V14 lane changing. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take 2 or 3 steps forward, see how it interacts with these cars right here, because this is a little bit tight. That car there doesn't want to let us over. did pretty good. It did pretty good. That would have been handled with a lot more stress in the past. So it seems like it is back to V13 lane changing behavior, which is good. I mean, this has been the biggest weakness of this build. I think this, the two other things have been parking lots and parking lot navigation. I give it a pass on that because we're really at like V11, level of parking. They just started this stuff. And in my opinion, it'll be V15 before we get any kind of banish or any kind of unsupervised parking, at least. I mean, we are at just the early stages of that. So any issues in parking lots and navigation in parking lots, I know they're working really hard on that. Another one that's related to that issue that this has is the navigation just seems to have gone really poorly. So we'll be testing that over the next couple of days to see if this version has improved any of that. But yeah, there's an example of a breakfast place we go to on the weekends, or I go to just pick up some breakfast and bring home, where it's literally off the main road, and it always navigated there perfectly. Well, with 14.2, it just started doing this weird navigation where it turns and then it goes down this dirt road with a big puddle and it goes through a building. Literally, the navigation goes through a building with no road. So it just fails and it winds up parking about a quarter mile, finding a place a quarter mile from there and parking. So there's some big navigation regressions in this build also that need to be looked at. One other thing is this build, I've had it happen 4 times now. One was a critical disengagement that I have on one of my other videos. It likes to turn left, not very often. I shouldn't say likes. Occasionally it will turn left from the middle lane, and yet yesterday it turned left from the right lane. Like it was just you turn left, you turn right. It stayed in the right lane, and there was an oncoming lane too. So it was a 3-lane road, 2 lanes, one to turn left, one to turn right, and then the far left lane was the oncoming, and it tried to turn left from the right lane. Is that a normal situation where you have, there was some construction and all that? No, but it's just it can cause problems. And then on that one video, it literally tried to turn left from a straight only lane where there was a car honking at me. And as I watched the video after, I realized that car was speeding up because he didn't like that I had just passed him. And so it could have easily been a wreck if I wouldn't have disengaged. My only critical disengagement on V14. So that we will be looking at turning left from center lanes. Like I said, it's done it about 4 or 5 times, and we will look at see if the mapping data is improved. But it seems like the lane changing hesitation is greatly improved. We'll harsh stop there. Just kind of how that goes with Mad Max. If it accelerates fast and then it has to stop sometimes. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll hopefully get another video out. Maybe we'll get there's another point release, I'm pretty sure, coming out pretty soon on this build. Maybe we'll get that next. Again, happy holidays. Thank you for watching.